back here again with another deck list video. Last year, 2018, or I guess the beginning of this year, in January 2018, I went to my first regionals in Dallas, Texas, and I'm going to be going back again 2019, January 18th to the Dallas regionals. And I put together a deck. It is, of course, a fire deck. Everybody knows that's what I like to play. And I'll showcase it here and give you my reasons for everything I've chosen. Everybody knows that right now the meta for Expanded is basically Zoroark anything. Garbodor, Seismitoad. Seismitoad keeps winning everything. Seismitoad, Zoroark is the winning list out of both Expanded regionals that we've had. And so anyway, this is what I'm going to go with. It is, of course, a fire deck because that's my favorite type and it's what I know how to play. And so, yeah, I mean that's just what I'm going to go with. Win or lose, good or bad decision, that's what it is. Starting off with 3 Ho-Oh. We'll, of course, be running Ho-Oh with Kiawe. Try and get that turn 1 Kiawe. You know, Phoenix Burn for 180 damage gets out all of your, or knocks out Seismitoads. And it is not weak to water, it is weak to lightning, so it's great. It means they'll be having to take a 4-hit knockout. Yeah, 4-hit knockout. It means we have to take a 4-hit knockout and with Choice Band. And with a Choice Band attached to Ho-Oh GX, you get knockouts on the Zoroarks also. I just hope we don't run up against any Blastoise decks, because it might be pretty rough on me. But that's the game plan. So we got going on here, we got 3 Ho-Oh, and going for that turn 1 Kiawe. 190 damage, or 190 hit points, does a good amount of damage. Can take a pretty good beating, and so that's what I'm going to be going with. Next up we have 3 Tapu Leles, just to maximize that chance to get that turn 1 Kiawe. With that Wonder Tag ability, get you any supporter turn 1. Up next we have 2 Turtonator GX, and we'll be running these. These do really great against a Lost March or Not March because of that Shell Trap ability. And as you'll see in a minute, we have a way to up that damage. But you Shell Trap, do 20. Then with a Steam Up from Volcanion EX, you're doing 50. So you're knocking out little things like Joltix and whatnot. And then if they hit you back, they pretty much knock themselves out. So 2 Turtonator GXs, and plus we run it for Nitro Tank. For that 1 Fire Energy Nitro Tank, attach 5 Fire Energy from your discard to your Pokemon in any way you like, and that is super clutch late game. Next up, we run 1 Volcanion EX for that Steam Up ability. Discard a Fire Energy from your hand. If you do, your basic fired Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And Volcanic Heat does 130 damage. You can't use this turn. You cannot use this attack during your next turn. It's a decent attack with 1 Steam Up, you know, 160, and then with a Choice Band you're hitting 190. So it's not bad. It definitely will see play at some point in Dallas. I'm super excited for that. Next up we have Oranguru. It allows you to instruct, allows you to get those 3 cards, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So that's pretty much our Pokemon lineup. Up next will be our supporters, and we will run a 4-line of Cynthia. Just get that shuffle draw, refresh your hand back up to 6. And then we will run a 3-line of Professor Sycamore. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. I expect to run a lot into Zoroark Seismitoad, and so I'm trying to run this heavy supporter line as I can. That way I'm not relying on items. I do not want to get item locked. I know it's going to happen, and I know I'm probably going to lose from it, but I'm trying my best to be able to draw out of that. Next we have Guzma, 3 of them for switching. And up next, probably the 3 most important cards in this whole deck. It makes the deck run. 3 Kiawe. Search your deck for 4 Fire Energies, attach them to to 1 Pokemon, and then shuffle, or then your turn ends. Shuffle your deck and then your turn ends. Next up we got Lysander Prism Star. I know this card doesn't see a lot of play, but for each of your fire Pokemon in play, put a card from your opponent's discard pile in the Lost Zone. So say you've just knocked out a Seismitoad, or he's had to discard a couple Seismitoad or a couple DCEs, and if you can hit it at the right turn, you can really knock him out of the game, knock your opponent out of the game, because they just won't be expecting you to take what's ever in their discard and just throw it away. You know, if they got a Zoroark in there, you know, they won't be able to stretch them out, stuff like that. And next up, we have one Blacksmith. And I've debated playing more than one. With Versus Seeker, I'll be able to get it back if I'm not item locked. So that's the plan. I'm having a hard time finding room for everything I want in this deck. But with that, you can attack with a Turtonator GX and then be able to turn around and attack again next turn with that, using that Blacksmith. Now for the item cards, we run 4 line of Ultra Ball, just to get those Pokemon out there. Everybody knows what them do. We run a 3 line of Nest Ball. You know, get your basics, Turtonator, Volcanion, Ho-Oh. Just trying to maximize your options for that turn one. That turn one Kiawe. Up next, we have 3 Max Elixir. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Attach an energy, basic energy you find there, to one of your Pokemon. Super important in this deck. I only run 3. I ran 3 for a long time, didn't have a problem with it, so I'm hoping I'll be alright with that. I had to cut 1 to make room for some other cards, and that was the only expendable card I could find. Up next, we have 2 Float Stones. Ho-Oh GX cannot attack next turn with its main attack. So with Float Stone, you just retreat him, then Guzma up whatever you want to knock out, and you're off and swinging. Up next, we have 2 Versus Seeker. Like I said, I expect to be item locked a lot of the game, and so I'm trying to play around that so that I'm not just drawn into items constantly. I realize this is still going to be a pretty high item heavy deck, but with all them supporters, I think I'll be fine. Up next, we have 2 Choice Band, just to modify that damage against EXs and GXs and get me that 30 extra damage, which is a knockout on a Zoroark GX with my Ho-Oh main attack. Up next, we have a Mysterious Treasure. Search out that Tapu Lele. I have found that comes in very handy turn 1 because it's not a nest ball. So it comes in very handy. Up next, we have 1 Computer Search. This is, as my brother likes to call it, a universal Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards and get anything you want. Next is a Heat Factory Prism Star. Discard a Fire Energy, draw 3 cards. You can't go wrong with that. That is used exactly for that, but also to bump other stadiums. And then here we have a Scorched Earth. Discard a Fire Energy or a Fighting Energy and draw 2 cards. So it's a slightly worse Heat Factory, but it's mainly in there to help bump out those other Prism Star stadiums that I'm sure will be showing up. And then next we have 1 Field Blower. We can't play a lot of items, so I've only included 1 in this deck. I may be wrong for doing that, but that's what I have going on. And now for the energy count. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 fire energy. I run that many energies for those max elixirs. I found if I only run 12, I had a hard time hitting them. And so if I run 14, I have a better chance of hitting those energies nearly every time I use a max elixir. So it's doing great. That's pretty much it for the deck. I'm going to take it to Dallas and see how it does. I realize not a lot of people play fire lately, but I'm hoping to make it in the top 64. That would be awesome. I'm hoping to make some waves with this deck, being able to hit so hard with Ho-Oh GX right off the bat, and then Turtonator with the GX attack, getting all my fire energies back out of the deck or out of the discard pile. I'll be able to just swing really hard, really fast, and not have to rely on items throughout the game. If I can get those turn 1 knockouts on them, if I can get turn 1 knockouts on Seismitoad, that would be awesome for me, because if I don't, they're going to be item locking me every step of the way. So anyway, that's it for my deck. Like I said, this is for expanded. Obviously, I'm using a lot of expanded cards. But if you like this video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, like the video. I guess that's the same thing. Leave a comment. Don't forget to share it. The more people see it, the funner it is, and the more people that will maybe shake up the meta in Dallas. I mean, so far we've seen nothing but Zoroark paired with something, and I think it's time for Zoroark to take a back seat to something else. And Buzzwole, by the way. I get tired of them too. But anyway, give me a like, give me a follow on Instagram, and I'll leave a link for that in the description.